Nano Banana is officially out. It's Gemini 2.5 Flash image. In this video, we'll be seeing how to use and access it using 7 different platforms. We'll be seeing some really challenging examples where even Nano Banana struggles a bit. For example, we'll try to replace the man in this shot with this man, and you're going to see that it's not going to be very straightforward. Similarly, we're going to try to place all these 4 people inside a cafe together. Again, this will involve some tweaks to get the final result. We're going to try to put this woman and this dog onto this bed, and you're going to realize that when it comes to advanced compositing, Nano Banana can sometimes struggle a bit. We're going to be doing character consistency tests where we will be seeing how consistent the creations are when you compare it to the best in the business, which is ideogram character currently. You'll also be seeing how consistent it is when you try a product placement. What is the scope of video production when it comes to Nano Banana? Because that is an industry which is going to be impacted in a huge way by it. Some neat tips and tricks, and we'll also be talking about some issues related to the quality of the images and restriction usage. So let's head into the banana downpour. So first of all, how do you access it? Well, now we have a lot of different platforms. The 2 most official ways would be through the Gemini app, where you can do it completely for free. The Google AI Studio, same for that. LM Marina, where all this madness started, you can access it there for free. And this time, the good news is that you can actually select the model, so you don't have to wait and hope inside the battle mode. The next platform was a bit of a surprise, considering most people were dubbing Nano Banana as a Photoshop killer, but Adobe themselves have welcomed the API with open arms, and now in the Adobe Firefly web app, you can actually use it completely for free as of now. If you can't beat them, join them. Talking about API, when the keys got released, it was bound to come inside the all-in-one AI apps like Kriya AI, FreePick AI, OpenArt AI, Leonardo AI, Enhancor AI, Higgsfiled AI. We will be seeing 2 of these, but the question is, why would you want to pay for these apps when you can access Nano Banana for free? The answer to that is you would if you want to go well beyond what only Nano Banana can do. What that means, we'll see later on in this video, but right now, let's get started with our first example inside Gemini. As always, the links to all the tools and the images are in the description so that you can work along with me. Gemini can be accessed both on desktop as well as via the mobile app, so that is great. And once you go over to Gemini, you're going to first of all make sure this is set to 2.5 Flash, which is the latest model. And then let's take the example of this particular image where we'll initially perform some basic edits, but then we'll start to do some things where Nano Banana does struggle a bit sometimes. So let's upload this image right here. Let's type in a simple prompt. Turn the man into Batman and the woman into Spider-Woman. Now, before you hit generate, what I would highly suggest you do is just hit this tools icon and make sure you select this option that says create images. What this does is that it makes sure that Gemini does not perceive whatever you write here as a query, and instead it takes it as a command to generate the image. Because if it's the former, sometimes it can just give you a reply which is just a lot of text, but it doesn't really generate the image, so it can get a bit annoying. But once you hit this, the result will always be an image. So let's do this, and this should be easy enough. But the second edit that we're going to perform, that's where you'll see that Nano Banana can struggle a bit. One great part about using the Gemini app is I think it is the quickest out of all the platforms that you're going to see, because just I think less than 3 seconds we have our image, and if we just open this up, I think this looks absolutely fantastic. The Gemini app is very slick. For example, if you just want to redo this, just hit this button. You don't have to type anything again. You also have a very underrated use microphone button, which can especially be helpful if you're using the mobile app, where it can be tough to type in longer prompts. It's very good at the accuracy of transcribing whatever you are speaking, so it just comes in very handy in those moments. But for now, let's try something challenging. I'm again going to upload that original image, and we're going to try to replace the man in the original image with this man. So let's upload both those images right here. So the prompt is simple enough. Replace the man in the first image with the man in the second image. And oftentimes what I've seen is when you ask it to replace a human being with another human being, it can struggle and it just gives out the original image back as the result. So let's just wait for this. Right, so we've got our result here. And Honestly, this was not supposed to work, so I'm a bit surprised. The yellow banana has left me red-faced here because when I was doing this earlier on, I just kept on doing the same things. I tried every different prompt, like swap the man, every possible thing. It just wasn't working at all. Let me actually show you that window. So here you can see I was trying to do the same thing, swap the man on the left with the man on the right. And I kept on doing it. It just wasn't able to give out a proper image. I would just get this, even though this time I tried to replace him with a different man, I just wasn't able to get the accurate result. But when I was trying to do something like replace him with a giant banana, this was working. So maybe as we speak, the model is evolving and getting better. However, if you are facing this scenario where it is taking so long to get a result like this, I will show you later on how you can get this right on the first go pretty much every time. But that's it for Gemini right now. One of the downsides of Gemini is that whenever it is going to generate an image, you're going to get this little watermark here. There is another downside, which is that the image that you'll get sometimes can suffer from quality issues, because even though it's right now a rumor, it is believed that the output is compressed a bit when it comes to the Gemini app. We will actually be comparing two results, one from Gemini and one from another app, and then we will be able to see this for ourselves. But right now, let's move on to the second platform for our second example. So this time, this is Google AI Studio. And all you have to do here is just on the right side, make sure you've selected this model, Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview. And then it works exactly the same way. We're going to upload our file. So for this example, we have these 4 headshots and we want all these 4 people sitting on a table in a cafe. 4 people sitting in a cafe. They are looking at the camera and smiling. Let's run this. All right, so our result is ready. If we just open this up, you can see that this looks really, really nice. But what I have noticed is when there are too many people involved, one of the faces might face an issue where you don't get 100% consistency. For example, in this case, you can see that the woman out here, she doesn't really look like the original person in the headshot. So in such a scenario, what can you do? Let me just quickly show you a way to correct this. So in such a scenario, you can use any of the free face swapping apps. For example, one of my favorite apps is Remaker.ai. You can use this for free quite liberally. You'll again find the link in the description. And they have a multiple face swap feature. So once you create your account, you log in, you go here. We're going to upload this image that we created inside AI Studio. And then it's going to recognize all the faces inside the frame. And you can then add the original headshot next to the one. In this case, this is the one. So let me upload the original shot here. This is done. We're going to hit swap. It's going to cost us 4 credits. But once you do get the result, this is going to be much better than the original. However, there is one problem with these apps, which is that they don't just swap the face, they actually regenerate the entire photograph. So if I just open this up, now you can see she looks much closer to what we had in the original headshot. However, because the image has been regenerated, we start to get that polished AI look. We will see how to solve this using an app called as Enhancor, which can do this with a single click. I'll be showing you how to use that later on in this video. Also, at this point, just so that we can appreciate even the original result that Nano Banana had produced, have a look at the image that Flux Context gave out when I asked it to do the same thing with those 4 headshots. And there is no comparison here because in case of Flux, those 4 people basically did not even bother to show up at the cafe. The next platform is LM Arena, and this time instead of the battle mode, you can just go directly and select direct chat, and then make sure you select, just search for Gemini and just select Gemini 2.5 Flash. And now for this example, we have these 2 images. This is going to be the easy edit. We're just going to say this woman with this dog sitting on a bed, and you're going to see that it can produce a good result. However, when we add in the third image, that's when the trouble will begin. But first of all, let's do the easy one. So both the images are here. Make sure you hit the generate images icon. Let's write in a simple prompt. Woman sitting on the bed with the dog on her lap. Let's hit this and let's see the result. And you can see that this looks absolutely fantastic. I had got another result like this, which even looked better. So there's no doubt Nano Banana is absolutely amazing. However, let's add in a third image here. So this time we also have this picture and we only want her to be on this bed, and the overall composition should also look like this. So basically this is something like we are compositing her and the dog onto the bed. So let's see the result here. The prompt remains the same. It's just that we've added this image, and you're going to notice that sometimes it may work, but where I have seen Nano Banana really struggle is when you are asking for such an advanced composite where you're putting an entire person onto a specific scene. That's when you start to get those Photoshop meme-like results. So you want to see this? And if I just open this up, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see this just looks absolutely terrible because the lighting is completely off. And again, it's like one of those cases where it feels like you've just taken this out, removed the background, and then just pasted it here. There is no depth at all. In fact, I would say this is actually a pretty decent result considering what I was getting earlier on. Just have a look at these. I mean, we know about Photoshop memes, but if the future is Nano Banana memes, then these are going to be certain candidates. And till now, I haven't really been able to figure out a solution to this. When I do, I'll definitely make a new video on it, because this is something pretty much no AI tool has been able to solve till now. So before I move on to the next platform, just wanted to quickly talk about the quality issue that I had mentioned earlier regarding the Gemini app. So here's an edit where I'd just done a simple change in the color of the clothes. This was via the Gemini app, and this was via Marina. Right now, they both look all right, but if you see the zoomed in version, you're going to see that if we just pull this all the way down, this is what Gemini had produced, and this is Marina. You can clearly see that the Gemini result just looks a bit pixelated, so there's definitely some compression issue in the output. So this was the big surprise I had talked about earlier, the Adobe Firefly app, and you can use it completely for free with the Nano Banana model. You actually have to somehow get to this page, which is not a very easy task. So I've given you the link in the description. At this point, it will ask you to create your free account. Once you do that, make sure under model, you select Gemini 2.5 flash image. And one of the downsides of using the Firefly app is that you can only input one image. So it doesn't allow you to upload multiple images and then edit them. Now there is a solution for this. So let's say we want to put this man into these clothes, and then he should be holding this product. Well, what you can do is you can go over to any editing website, like let's say canva.com, or you can use a software like Photoshop, and just basically create one image like a collage where all the other three are also present. Then it turns into one image with three elements inside it. And then you can upload that image right here. So let's do that. All right, so our image is right here. Then we're going to write in a simple prompt. So I got this prompt from ChatGPT where this man is wearing these clothes and holding this product in an urban environment. So this was the prompt. Let's hit generate. It's going to give you this message. You can hit OK, and let's wait for the result. Right, you can see this looks really, really nice. So if we just open this up, if we compare all the things, right from the stuff that he's wearing to his face and to that chips packet, everything is just amazingly consistent, and all this from one image, but using that little hack. In fact, I've seen people do this with 15 of or 16 of those elements, even sometimes more, onto that single image like a collage, and it still keeps everything consistent. So this is just absolutely brilliant. Now, I just want to show you a use case of something like this in terms of video production, because if we get an image like this and we want to turn this into some sort of an advertisement for this chips packet, well, right here, now we can turn it into the next frame, maybe the ending frame of that video. And then I'll be showing you how you can use something like Kling 2.1 to turn all this into a single video. But right now, let's generate the ending frame where, let's say, there is a downpour of bananas here. So earlier on when I was doing it, I actually really like this result. I'm going to use this image right here. And a simple enough prompt. It's raining bananas. The man is looking up in amazement and his hands are wide. So just going to generate this, and then we get a result like this. So now we've got both the frames with us, and later on, using one of the all-in-one apps, we're going to turn this into a video. But right now, let's move on to the next app. So now it's time to see some of the all-in-one AI apps. The two that I like the most are Higgsfiled AI and OpenArt AI. So I'll just give you a glimpse of these two. And one of the reasons you might want to use this, even though this is behind a paywall, is first of all, the apps which are using the Nano Banana API, they don't have any sort of a restriction. And this can be helpful when it comes to images with human beings. Because yes, in our first example this time, when I was recording this video, it seemed to work fine when we tried that human replacement. But oftentimes, as I showed you, it was not working on those official platforms. But when I did this using the all-in-one AI apps like Higgsfiled and OpenArt, which I'm just going to be showing you, it worked right in the first go. For example, again, I've uploaded these images right here because now in Higgsfiled, we can use the Nano Banana model along with the other models. I'm going to write in the same prompt here. Replace the man in the first image with the man in the second image. And this time there is no doubt that the result that we're going to get will be the perfect one. So you can see here that there was no doubt. This time you can try with different portraits, different people. It just always works whenever I have tried it on Higgsfiled and as I'm going to be showing you in OpenArt. So this is another platform to use. Another advantage obviously of using these apps is if you want to go beyond just image generation. And let's say I want to turn any of these images into videos. So for example, I can go over here to the video part. And remember, we had generated these two frames for this person. So what we can do here is that, let's say inside Higgsfiled, I can go over and select the Kling 2.1 master, which recently allows you to put two frames, the starting frame and the ending frame, and this is their latest model. So I can input both the frames that we had created inside Adobe Firefly. And then I basically typed in a simple prompt, which was the chips packet that the man is holding explodes and it starts to rain bananas. The man looks up in amazement. Only costed me 10 credits to generate this, and this was the result. So you can see that looks pretty amazing, and this is thanks to Nano Banana, because when you do make those edits, the consistency is so great that when you are able to use the starting and the ending frame, you're just gonna get a video that makes sense. Similar to Higgsfiled, one of my other favorite apps, the all-in-one apps out there, is OpenAI. And here also it works in a very similar way. For example, under the model or character, under the image creation section, we can now select Nano Banana amongst so many other models. And you can write in your prompt here. For example, this was one of the examples I showed in my last video where we had these two images and I just wanted to transfer over the style, the Buddhist style, onto the empty room. So under the Omni reference section here, uploaded both the images, decorate the room with the Buddhist theme. It costed me 30 credits on this, but it is using the Nano Banana model, and instantly I was able to get results like this. And again, the advantage of the all-in-one AI apps is that, let's say if I like something like this, from here, I can just turn this into a video. So I can say use image, image to video. Now, if I go back to the video part here, it will already have that image ready for me. And then again, I can select a model like Kling and just say cinematic tour of a meditation room. Then I can get results like this. So all this is possible if you are ready to pay for these apps. So mainly, I would say if you are interested in video production, that's when you should be going in for these all-in-one AI apps. However, there is one exception to this, which is the last platform that I want to show you here, which is Enhancor AI. This product can do something which can just take your Nano Banana results to the next level, which is it can get rid of that AI look which those results still have. So let's see an example of this, because even within Enhancor now, you do have Nano Banana. So if I go over here to Tools, I can go over here to Image Editing, and you'll be able to see that under Model, we can select Nano Banana. Let's try our next example where we have this portrait. Let's try to turn him into a Spartan warrior who is holding a banana. The prompt is very simple. The man is standing in a battlefield. He's wearing a Spartan-like outfit. He's holding a shield in one hand and a banana in the other. And we're going to hit generate images. While this is cooking, just to compare it to the best in the business, I already created this inside ideogram character, which if you've not seen this video of mine, you definitely should, where I compared 7 different competitors when it comes to creating consistent characters. And in that video, Ideogram not only won the contest, it pretty much wiped the floor sparkling clean. So this is the best at creating consistent characters now. And if Nano Banana can beat this, then Nano Banana is the best. So I did the same thing here again, and this was the result that I got. So you can see from a consistency point of view, not bad at all, but somehow the image just did not look very appealing. Let's go back to Enhancer and let's see if our image is ready. So, and you can see here that this result just looks much better. If we just open this up, just compare the consistency, absolutely fantastic, but just look at the overall feel to this. This is exactly what we were going in for when we typed in that prompt. However, there's something even more special about using Enhancer. So if you close this, the Enhancer upscaler is one of the best to get rid of that AI look, which Nano Banana still suffers a bit from. Right here, I can just hit this option that says Upscale Portrait, and it's going to take us to this interface where I can say, yes, my image is a portrait, so that it doesn't change the face when you check this during the upscaling process. And if I upscale this now, you're going to see that it even looks more realistic. So let's just wait for this. All right, so our results are ready. If you just open this up, this is the original, which Nano Banana produced. But after upscaling it, see the difference? It really gives it that real life look. And this is the tool I was talking about when we were discussing the cafe shot with the 4 friends, where the Remaker app had just given it that polished look. You put it through this and it's just going to solve those texture issues. Here's another example. It sometimes can just change the face a bit, but usually it's getting better at it, and it does preserve the main details, but the change over from that AI look to the real look is something we've never seen before in the other upscalers. So if you are going for the all-in-one AI apps and portraits is your main domain, and you want to use Nano Banana, Enhancer might just be the best option for you. Does this model have its flaws? Yes. But make no mistake, right now there's only one image model sitting on top of that AI editing throne, and that is Gemini 2.5 Flash Image. Simply because while its flaws can be rectified, its strengths, namely context and consistency, are currently unmatched. And given the sheer amount of data that Google has at its disposal to train its models, this is likely to remain the case for more than just the foreseeable future. In case this video helped you out, do give it a like. And for more AI editing tutorials like this one, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.